Every time he killed someone, he would tie the victim's body to a 1-ton anchor and then use the anchor's weight to sink it into the ocean. Unexpectedly, an accident happened this time. Jimmy couldn't react in time and was tripped by the taut rope, falling into the sea. He also accidentally started the small wooden boat. Under the influence of the anchor, the small boat began moving in a circle. Jimmy barely managed to swim to the surface when the small boat crashed straight into his head at high speed. Fortunately, the injury wasn't too serious, and Jimmy managed to save his life. But the small boat kept circling and soon returned to the starting point. Having learned from the previous lesson, Jimmy this time took a deep breath and dove underwater, avoiding the small boat's collision. But he couldn't avoid the collision with the anchor behind it. 1 minute later, the small boat sailed to this position again. Unexpectedly, Jimmy relied on his strong survival instinct to grab the rope and swim up bit by bit. Although temporarily out of life-threatening danger, climbing onto the boat was still very difficult, because at this moment he was less than 10 centimeters away from the high-speed rotating propeller. If he wasn't careful, he might lose his reproductive organs. Finally, relying on his last bit of strength, he pulled out the power source, and the propeller stopped rotating. After resting for a moment, Jimmy returned to the boat and quickly threw his friend's body into the sea. This time, there were finally no accidents. The body smoothly sank to the seabed, but Jimmy still didn't dare to relax. Just disposing of the body wasn't enough to clear suspicion. Next, he had to destroy the evidence. He drove the boat to an uninhabited shore, then sprinkled gasoline in every place inside the boat. Then he lit a lighter and burned away all traces of his friend's blood inside the boat. But this wasn't over yet. To make the small boat less likely to be discovered, he loaded it with stones to make it sink underwater. Unexpectedly, the water level here was too shallow and could only barely cover the boat's hull, while the engine was still above water. After a day of struggling, Jimmy was also powerless to attend to these details, so he turned and left this place. Eventually, he would pay a heavy price for this oversight.